Strange reasons your brain likes to procrastinate. Have you ever wondered why you know exactly what you need to do, but still can't get yourself to do it? You have goals, plans, even motivation, yet when it's time to start, you find yourself scrolling, cleaning your desk, or saying, "I'll do it tomorrow." This doesn't mean you're weak or undisciplined. Procrastination isn't a failure of willpower, it's a biological response of the brain. Your brain is wired to avoid stress and protect you from perceived danger, even if that means holding you back and keeping you stuck. In truth, your brain isn't trying to sabotage you, it's trying to keep you safe. Here are 8 unconscious neural mechanisms that may be quietly causing you to procrastinate in life. Number 1. The dopamine rush of escape. You open your laptop, stare at the report that's due, and tell yourself, "I'll just check social media for 5 minutes to relax." That small wave of relief you feel, that's dopamine, the brain's chemical reward for escaping stress. The irony is that your brain can't tell the difference between escaping real danger and avoiding a stressful task. Each time you procrastinate, it learns that avoiding equals safety. And when that brief relief repeats often enough, your brain starts to crave the escape itself, even though it only keeps you stuck longer. Number 2. The high of the last-minute rush. Some people only truly wake up when the deadline is near. As pressure builds, the body releases adrenaline and dopamine, sharpening your focus, boosting creativity, and pushing you to work at lightning speed. That rush feels like a natural stimulant. You enter a flow state, everything becomes clear, ideas flow easily, and time seems to slow down. Because of that, you start to crave the thrill of last-minute stress. Every time you pull through under pressure, your brain records, stress equals productivity. Over time, you unconsciously recreate that pressure, delaying, waiting, then sprinting to the finish line just to feel that adrenaline-fueled high again. But in the long run, relying on stress as your fuel exhausts your nervous system. You burn out faster, lose motivation, and your brain starts to believe that you can only perform when you're under intense pressure. That's how the habit of working under the wire becomes a dangerous loop of stress addiction. Number 3. Creative procrastination. Not all procrastination is bad. Sometimes, taking a break from a project actually helps your brain work better. When you stop focusing directly on a problem, your subconscious keeps processing it in the background, sorting through ideas, making new connections, and quietly searching for solutions you might not notice. This is known as the incubation effect. It's why your best ideas often appear when you're showering, walking, or making coffee. The key lies in your intention. If you step back to gain perspective, that's strategy. But if you delay because you're afraid to start or afraid to fail, then it's no longer creativity, it's avoidance disguised as waiting for inspiration. Number 4. The brain's threat protection mechanism. When you face an important task, like preparing a presentation, submitting a report, or doing something you're not confident about, your brain can perceive it as a threat, not a real, physical danger, but an emotional one. The fear of being judged, failing, or not doing well enough. The part of your brain that processes fear then sounds the alarm. Your body tenses up, your heart beats faster, and you feel an urge to avoid the situation. At that moment, your brain chooses the easiest escape, procrastination. Avoiding the task gives you temporary relief, but that sense of safety doesn't last long. Soon, the stress and guilt return. Often even stronger. So, procrastination doesn't mean you're lazy. It simply means your brain is overreacting to pressure. When you learn to calmly start, even by doing just a small part, you send a message to your brain: this isn't dangerous. I can handle it. That's how you gradually train your brain to take action instead of running away. Number 5. Perfectionism disguised as procrastination. If you never start, you'll never fail. If you never finish, no one can judge your results. That's why procrastination becomes a shield to protect your self-esteem from the fear of imperfection. As long as the project stays in your mind, it can remain perfect. You dream of excellence because imagining success feels safer than risking mistakes. But the cost is that you never move forward. You avoid criticism, but you also miss out on growth, progress, and the satisfaction of truly finishing something. Your perfectionist brain thinks it's helping you, but in reality, it's holding you hostage to fear. This mindset often starts early, when you were praised for being naturally talented instead of for your effort. Over time, you learned that struggling or making mistakes meant you weren't good enough. So procrastination, in this case, isn't about lacking motivation, it's about being afraid to prove that you're not perfect. Number 6. The rebellion to regain control. Sometimes you don't procrastinate because you fear the work, but because you hate feeling forced. When someone, or even you, sets a deadline, your brain reacts by trying to reclaim autonomy. I'll do it when I decide to. In that moment, procrastination becomes a quiet act of rebellion, giving you a fleeting sense of control, even though it often costs you more than it gives. This isn't weakness, it's simply your brain's way of protecting its sense of freedom. Even if that freedom comes at the expense of progress and results. Number 7. The energy-saving mechanism. The brain makes up only 2% of your body weight but consumes up to 20% of your daily energy. From an evolutionary perspective, it's wired to conserve energy by avoiding mentally demanding tasks. Thousands of years ago, this instinct helped our ancestors survive. But today, when thinking is the work, that same reflex has become a barrier. Your brain believes it's saving energy, but in reality, it's just postponing the things that matter most. Number 8. The craving for novelty. The human brain is naturally drawn to new and stimulating experiences, because every novelty triggers dopamine, the chemical of excitement and reward. A single notification, a short video, or a new post gives your brain a quick hit of pleasure. Meanwhile, repetitive tasks like reports or emails feel dull and unstimulating by comparison. That's why social media so easily wins your attention. It constantly feeds your brain quick dopamine, while real work requires patience and sustained effort. Conclusion: procrastination isn't weakness or a lack of discipline. It's the result of a brain that's still trying to protect you, using outdated survival strategies. It chooses comfort over achievement, safety over growth. But once you understand how it works, you can retrain your brain. Start small. Take action even when it's imperfect. Allow yourself to move forward instead of waiting for the right moment. Because every small step you take today is the first move toward breaking the cycle of procrastination and reclaiming control over your own life.